Well, hello there once again, everybody. Hi, this is me, Andrea, from the Quilting Shed. And it occurred to me before I got to this one that I haven't been introducing myself. So, in case you don't already know me, my name is Andrea. I actually have a name tag that I wear to Guild sometimes. Andrea. I own this place with my husband, but I pretty much run it. I call Ron the CFO, as in Chief Fabric Officer, even though it's supposed to stand for Chief Financial Officer, but Fabric Officer. He just tells me how much fabric I can buy. It's great. So yeah, I'm Andrea. I own the shop here in just in the outside of Fredericton in the Hanwell area. You should stop in when you have a chance. Have a mask on. Don't need to wear a mask for the video because I'm all by myself. Yay! So the other things I wanted to talk about today was there's my name tag. Sorry, again. It's paper piece. It's a little tiny log cabin with a bunch of little tiny pieces because I love doing stuff like this. That's little and tiny, and I find it relaxing. And yeah, it's a little bit crazy, but that's what I like. So I've been getting a lot of new people in, thus the name tag is dug out for me. And so people naturally ask, oh, how did you learn how to quilt? And how long have you been quilting? Because I know I only look very young, but I do have grandchildren. Yes, they're my grandkids. And I just have really good genes, okay? Just really, really, really good genes. Um, so I will show you. I learned how to quilt from my grandmother. And I put stuff too far down the table. I learned how to quilt from my grandmother. And I wanted to have her in the shop as well. So I finally found the picture that I've been looking for of my beloved grandmother. This is Marjorie. Say hello. Nanny taught me how to quilt when I was about yay big. 10. I was 10. And I stayed at her house a lot, summers mostly, sometimes in the winters, school holidays. Great stuff, probably when I was driving my mother nuts. Anyway, my grandmother was making appliance covers. Back in the day, if you had a tidy kitchen, you had these nice quilted appliance covers to cover up each of your appliances that were on the counter, these newfangled things, those appliances. Nice quilted little blankets to go over your mixer and your toaster and your blender. So they would be nice and tidy and coordinated. So Nanny and I were making these, or she was trying to make them, and I was giving her a hard time about snacks and the lack of TV choices, CBC or PBS, so Mr. Rogers or Sesame Street. I spent a lot of time watching, well, and Mr. Dress Up too. Anyway, so to keep me occupied, she showed me how to quilt while she was making these appliance covers, and I have some leftover pieces because if you can see the little tiny stitches here, I don't think any of these stitches are mine. They're all my grandmother's. They're just tiny little things. After like a good 20 or 30 years, they get a little worn out. So what she had done was cut them down to use the good pieces because she lived through London during the war, you see, so nothing ever went to waste, ever. My go-to is usually telling people she's the kind of person who had a little jar labeled bits of string too short for use. That's how frugal she was. So she did teach me how to quilt, hand quilt, on these these pieces, although this isn't the piece that I stitched. And the funny part was I was wearing one of those nice long flannel nighties because about my grandmother's, you don't need to get dressed. And I was sitting on the recliner, and you know how you just sort of tuck your nightie over your knees and then you work in your lap, and I did all this row of stitching, and I stood up and it was quilted to my nightie, and we had to unpick the stitches because I stitched it right to myself. She laughed. That was pretty funny. So yeah, that's a bit of how I learned to quilt way back then. That was a long time ago. Um, and Nanny's hanging in the shop saying hi. I think she'd be quite tickled. Um, so yeah, a little bit of quilting history for you there. And I tell people, because they ask, do you do any hand stitching? And I say, no, I don't. My eyes are pretty bad. These are progressive lenses. I've got arthritis in this finger at the very least. Um, And my grandmother taught me how to do really exceptionally tiny, tiny stitches that you can see right here. So that is the standard I weigh my own stitches by. So anything less than this is sloppy. So I don't do it for that reason, because I just cannot hit that level of perfection anymore, which is totally fine. That's just me. If your stitches don't look like that, I think your stitches look great. This is just me and my stitches. So yeah, so let's talk about what we got going on in the shop. I've been ordering some stuff, but the orders, I've been placing orders faster than they've arrived, which I guess we all have to get used to. So I started digging out some of the extra things that I had kicking around in boxes in the storage closet here in the shop and in my office, things that just didn't fit in the shop, little odds and ends. If you don't know the shop history, we did have 2 other local quilt shops here in Fredericton that both closed down at different times and different reasons, and I bought up the remaining inventory that they had to help give me a boost. So now I just have a bunch of bits and pieces kicking around, like notions and kits. Perfectly fine stuff. It's just older stock. And every so often I'm just like, yeah, we need to get rid of this so we can go buy new stock. So one of the things we have is some mini jelly rolls, Celebration. I've only got 3 of these left. They're Moda jelly rolls, and I think they have like 28 strips on them. It's a pinkish colorway. If you want to go with a gendered baby girl quilt, you could do that. They were originally $28. I've marked them down to $18, and I've put 25% off on top of that. And I even found a couple of jelly roll patterns. So I've only got 3 of those. If you need to make a baby girl quilt, please come see me. I can hook you up. And I've got some kits too. All of these kits I went through and marked down so that the price tag on them now is pretty much half off of what they were originally. If you like to do some wool applique, there's one, I think, of this teacher one with the apples, and there's a couple of this little wool mat with candy canes, because I know you're going to start thinking about Christmas. I know, I'm trying to avoid it. So there's another long skinny wall hanging. I do have a sample that I did up of this one. It's the skates in blue, and it's got all the fabric here for you and a little button and everything. So you can make this, if you have a skater in your life, you can make a nice wall hanging. It has the pattern for this, the extras that you see on the pattern window, but the kit is for just the skates one. That's $17.50, less than $20. I mean, seriously. This was I have a few of these. It's a panel kit with these brawny bears, with these cartoony bears out camping, and all the fabric to do the borders and stuff. And I have 4 of these, 3 of them in red and 1 left in blue. I'll show you the blue one. So I like the blue one the best. There's the blue one with the blue colorway and the blue fabric. So that's pretty cool. So you can make some lap quilts for some people pretty cheaply and do them up for presents for Christmas or any time. There is a Take 5 quilt kit. There's just one of these. It's got a traveling theme, which is really hard to do right now, but if you do know a traveler and you wanted to get them something, I mean, $25, sew it together, get it quilted. There you go. Your presents are done. And I have some more of these panels. There's this seaside panel, and I have a couple of quilt kits. I should dig out the sample for this too. But, you know, $24.50, $25 again. You can make a little baby quilt or kids quilt. It actually is a fair size, 40 by 47. Pretty nice. You can get that done. And there's just a couple other like placemats, runners, smaller items like that in the kit bin. So if you're looking for some half-price kits, I got some half-price kits, but you got to come in the shop and get them. They're not listed on the website is the other thing. Still have a little bit of a glitch going on trying to get items to sync from our point of sale database to the website database, and it's a bit janky in there right now. Probably not the best word to use, but it is, and Ron and I are working on it. Because it used to be what I did for a living, but he still does. So, speaking of jelly rolls, and other pre-cuts. Yes, I will have more on order. I gotta get stocked up on them. Hi, Gail. Good morning. I will be happy to see you later today. That would be awesome. So, pre-cuts, yeah. So when companies cut the fabric for the pre-cut, they lay out the fabric. They get a big electronic scissors and cut away whatever they're cutting, and then they have leftover bits like this. You see this big bundle? It's a bunch of strips. Lots of them are salvage strips. This one's from Moda. Um, $5. This big ball can be yours. I have more than one scrap thing. I just want to get rid of them. These appear to be all from the same line, and some nice purpley grays and blues and whatever. So if you like scrappy quilts, salvage quilts, strip quilts, you've got a lot to play in with in here. So that's good. Again, it's not on the website. You just have to come in and grab some. Oh, so it's the fun of running a quilt shop and finding all these one-off things buried in the bottom of a bin somewhere that you forgot you even had. So you're like, mark it down. Somebody will buy it. Because it's all about moving that product in and out. I know, it's super fun. So the shop was pretty busy last week, and I had a lot of people in here. We had like hit our limit of 4 people, not including me, and I had people waiting outside. So I'm trying to be, rushing a bit, probably more than I should, and trying to be super efficient at the same time. And I have this spool of elastic that if you just want 2 meters, I'll just pull off 2 meters. If you want 5 meters, 10 meters, I'll pull that off. Lady comes in, she wants 20. Like, okay, I can do this. Get in the groove and whatever. For some reason, though, the cardboard end of this came right off. It just went poof. See, it's not even glued on there anymore. It went poof. And this entire chunk of the spool just sort of hit the floor. It just whoosh. It was really quite spectacularly funny. And I said, screw it. I just got to keep going, and worked through some of the tangles. And later I had to get it all back on here, that took a hot minute, let me tell you. So, yeah. So I got smart, and in some other downtimes, I've started to do up little bundles, so they're already done up. So yeah, this is 10 meters of that same elastic. So I'm getting smart. So you don't have to wait for me to cut it out. You can just grab a bundle and go. It's like, and I have the black elastic. I think, I did this one up in 10 meters. Yeah, see, 10 meters. Or the little dainty 5-meter bundle. So I'm working on those, so you don't have to wait, and you can just get a bundle. And it's easier on all of us and less embarrassing for me to have the spool just explode everywhere. Normal day in the quilt shop. I tell you, the things that happen. But what happens in the quilt shop, though, stays in the quilt shop. That's why we have those magical digital receipts that you don't have to get sent anywhere, so that nobody sees how much you've spent on your quilting hobby, which is perfectly fine and a reasonable amount for you to spend on a hobby that you enjoy. Don't you let yourself feel guilty about it at all. It's all good. It's your outlet for creativity. And speaking of creativity, and now that we're over Thanksgiving, probably got enough Halloween stuff going on. I don't know about you, but I'm going to go over to my grandkids, and we are not going to go trick-or-treating like I usually take them out trick-or-treating, but we are going to sit and watch a scary kids movie and stuff our faces with treats and stay indoors. And I'm super happy about that. Yes, Gail, I do have the foam stabilizer because I have a project that I want to do with it later, which is this elf boot. I'm going to make a sample of that. And I looked at the pattern last night, and that elf boot is it's huge. It's a lot bigger than I expected. So another thing, it's not really a holiday, but Remembrance Day is coming up, and I know people like poppies, and I have this nice poppy placemat panel here. See? And see how the one placemat has the black border just on 2 sides. So if you come in, you can see how I'm playing around with the placemats themselves. Instead of doing them as placemats, I've sewed the 4 of them together so they look like a table topper. just to do different things if you're not into placemats so much, but you want to sort of acknowledge things. It's not really a celebration for Remembrance Day, but it's nice to put out some poppy themed elements just to show people and that you're remembering, so you yourself can sort of remember the occasion. And do it indoors because we're all trying to be safe. But this poppy panel makes 4 placemats and it's only $10, so that's pretty decent. I actually made myself a little list. Had a friend in here yesterday and she was like, you know what you should talk about tomorrow on your Facebook Live? So I was like, I'm writing that down. So I did. I did the salvage scraps. I did the kits. I did the elastic bundles. I said hi to my grandmother. I did get in a new item and you can see it right there. Ooh, I'm going to go get it. I forgot to go get it. So this is a face mask ruler from So Steady. I've got more of these on order from June Taylor as well, because now all the ruler companies seem to be, or many of them, seem to be coming out with a face mask template, because you get, I've been making mine as a paper template. I got to print out another copy because the edges are all ragged and I'm sure it's nowhere near accurate anymore. Or I could test this and tell you all how it works out. Maybe I could do that, getting some fogging up action. So I've got to figure that out. So there's a lot of different face mask designs. So I thought, hey, maybe in the comments, if you could pop in a link to your favorite face mask pattern so that the rest of us can sort of test it out and see if we like it, because everyone's on the hunt for yet a better face mask, usually for the glasses issue and sometimes for how fast they can make it up. Because if you're making face masks and you're selling them for custom ones, you want to be super fast and efficient. Somebody was in here yesterday that's selling them, and she uses the circle pattern where you just make a big circle and you make your mask out of that. She says it goes together real quick. That's why she likes it. But it does go up over your nose and help with the glasses. So I guess that is it for this week. I will see you in the shop if you're popping in. And if not, I guess I will see you on next week's Facebook Live. And you can ask me any questions you want in the comments. You can leave a suggestion for next week. You can tell your friends to come say hi. Lots of people coming in with the whole, oh, so-and-so told me about your shop and I thought I'd stop in and see what you have. And that's really great to see so much support and so people coming out to support local businesses and not going online. I mean, you can still shop online on our site and pick up, but it's still like local. It's like you're shopping online, but locally, which is super cool because most days we close at 5. Some people work all the way till 5, and I still have frequent customers who order online and then they pick up their order at the back door on their way home from work while I'm eating my dinner. So that's really nice because then I get a chance to eat dinner. So yeah, long-winded grandmother type goodbye. Take care of yourselves, wear your mask, wash your hands, use your hand sanitizer, stay safe, stay home if you can. I mean, come out for quilt supplies if you really need them. I know. Anyway, I'm going to stop rambling now. I've got stuff. I've got to open up the shop here soon. So I will catch you on the flip side, okay? Happy quilting!